So I'm itching to hear her talk on responsible use of social media. After hearing from Lulu, we're going to hear something from Zunira Malik. Please welcome her to the stage right now.
Hello. Hello. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for such an amazing introduction. So, assalamu alaikum, and a very good morning to all of you. I believe it's about to be afternoon now. Okay. So, first of all, I would like to thank Doha Women Forum for inviting me for such a prestigious event and sharing stage with some incredible ladies of Doha. So let's have a round of applause for Doha Women Forum. Okay, so before I start my topic for the day, I would like to introduce you myself first. I am Zunira Malik, born and raised here in Qatar. Since my childhood has been very simple because life in Qatar was not the same as it is today. It was very simple. We had very isolated kind of living because there was no such entertaining mediums available to us other than television. Also, for weekends, it was all about family, friends, and we really had sincere friends that time, which I really miss now. So, being a television addict, me and my mom, well, I'm the only daughter of my mom, so me and my mom share a friendship which is beyond, anything, the love and everything. So me and my mom, we used to watch the Oprah Winfrey show that time. If you remember, back in 90s, Oprah was one of the most popular personality of media. Today, she's a legend. By the way, how many of you are fan of her? Raise your hands. See, I know the way she is having a following. Oprah won many hearts. And by watching her shows, I got addicted as well, and she became somewhere my inspiration. So I decided that I also want to do something similar to what she was doing. In her shows, what impressed me the most about her was the way she conducted it, the way she invited those ordinary personalities having an amazing journeys behind. Especially with each and every episode of her, you can relate yourself somewhere. How many of you would agree with it? Raise your hands. So this was the fact that impressed me the most about her. Oprah is still my inspiration, though I'm nowhere near to her. But whatever I do in my life, she is the inspiration behind. So I also wanted to do something similar. I knew I see myself somewhere like that whenever I get a chance. And I didn't have any answer to these questions that how will I start such a portal? Who will support me? How will we do it as an expat here in Qatar? Being an expat, it made me realize more about it that yes, we do need a platform like this. Because back in 90s, there was only one TV channel which was totally for the locals here. So, keeping these questions in mind that I didn't have any answers to, I just lived my normal life and left it on to my destiny. So, the seed was sown long ago in me that yes, I will do it with whatever sort of opportunity I get. Leading my normal life, I got married, I had my family, and then came a revolution. A revolution in the society, a revolution in the whole world, which was social media. It was the era of internet. It was all about YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and whatnot. Life was all about social media. And another revolution, smartphones. This made life even more easier for many of us. The connectivity now got so simple that it seemed like, anything in the world is just a click away now. I knew it. This is the right time to work on my dream. This is the right time to represent Qatar, what I feel about. Why Qatar? Because I'm being raised here, and I love this country so much because this country has given us so much as an expat. The luxury of living and the lifestyle this country has given us, we are extremely thankful to it. And somehow, being a citizen here, we owe to this country. Qatar is my love because whole my life I've been here. And Qatar is something, a home for me. So this was for sure that I have to do something within Qatar. Now, since we have a very limited time, not mentioning you about the struggles, not mentioning you about the obstacles that we faced, not mentioning you about the hard work we put on for 2 years to make my dream happen. Finally, as we say that nothing comes easy in life, and what comes easy in life doesn't last for long. So cutting the long story short, we launched our YouTube channel, What's Up Doha. What's Up Doha is basically a digital media marketing community-based platform. And then my dream, my ultimate dream to represent Qatar and the people here in its most positive manner came true. I still remember the time I had my first talk show. While recording it, whole my body was shivering. But I definitely made it happen. I started my talk show in Spotlight with Zunira, which I believe is the first YouTube-based show ever by an expat in the history of Qatar, which highlights the core subjects with one-on-one discussion with our celebrity guest. Then came my breakfast, my woman empowering breakfast campaign. Though many people are copying the concept now, but I am the pioneer for that. Then the talent hunt, where I brought all the talent of Doha in front of the screen so that people in Doha, especially expats, should know how much talent we have in here. And then came the silent messages, another social activity which I did, giving my messages silently. So all these were the ways that I contributed and brought positive awareness within the society that I am living in and my kids are. Until date, we are working on it. I'm sure I definitely did something right and I'm somewhere successful, and it's purely because of that I'm standing here in front of you amongst such an amazing achievers of Doha. Okay. Now, let's talk about the power of social media. The reason to give you a brief about myself and my life is to show you that how responsibly I use these platforms. So now let's have a look at this video, a 2-minute video, in order to have a common understanding of the objective. Can we have it? Yeah. So this is the power of social media in today's world. Just imagine what power we all are holding in our hands. It's really tempting to think that such widely used platforms and such popular industry would naturally be safe to use. But the reality is something else. Social media does have its significant destructive potential. And we all must learn how to use it in its responsible way. Now let's have a look at another video which gives us the responsible and irresponsible ways when used. The positive effects of social media, which we are all well aware of. Connectivity. It's so much convenient. Communication is so easy. Perfect for any business nowadays. So we all are well aware of the advantages and we are using it. We're all social media users somehow, whether by means of just a normal user or an influencer or a blogger. So let's talk about the first horrifying truth of social media when used irresponsibly: cyberbullying. This is one of the major causes in the West nowadays. And how many of us actually knows that so many teenagers especially are committing suicides every year, especially in the West? There may be cases here in the Middle East, but not in my knowledge. And let me share with you my personal experience of a friend who has been victim to cyberbullying. Till date, she's so devastated, though she is married, have a family, but she's not at all a social media user because she was once a victim, and she doesn't let her kids even go near to that, which is again not normal. But since she's been affected psychologically so much that her personality has been affected. So it is very important. If you take my advice, I would request and ask the Ministry of Education to have special programs or workshops or a subject in the schools and colleges for our kids and make them learn the consequences of social media. Make them learn how to use and respect the technology, the power they hold in their hand. And we as a parent, as a family member, also should have an eye on our kids around. Another horrifying truth. The research shows that social media, excessive use of social media are the major causes behind anxiety disorder, depression, and stress. It's not working. Yes. Now why? why depression, why stress, why anxieties are occurring in us, sleep disorders as well, even in kids, just because we are so busy browsing other people's life on social media that we have forgotten about our own identity, what we like, what we want to be. So it's high time we realize it and evaluate our lives. Even kids nowadays, they are so unsatisfied. Every time they feel unlucky. Why? Because their YouTubers are reviewing every single day a new toy with them, and they feel so unlucky because they are their idols. In today's day and age, if you ask a kid what they want to become, they would say YouTuber. How many of you agree with me on this? So this is a serious issue nowadays. We have become so ungrateful only because we are watching other people's life, feeling that their living style and lifestyles are way more fancier than ours, whereas we don't know the truth behind. So it is very important for all of us to think, to have a break from social media in order to avoid having depression, stress, anxiety in our lives. And it's very important to have a digital detox. In fact, I would suggest have a digital detox day in your lives. And spend the time without using any electronic, any social media a day. Just feel the real world around you, because definitely our health and our lives are way more valuable than this social media. Let's save ourselves. Let us control this power rather than this power controlling us. My advice to the normal social media users are, just have a look at these 3 points. Just keep these 3-point rule in your mind before doing any activity on the internet. Before doing anything, just think about these 3 points. Necessity, number 1. Whatever you're doing, is it really necessary to do that? Do you believe it will make a difference in your life if you won't do it? Would it bother you? Number 2, authenticity. Before sharing any news or anything, or any comment, or putting up anything, just think about the authenticity about it. The validation behind the information that you're putting in. Then, add value. The most powerful fact that you should go ahead and do it. If you think your comment or your share or your post will add a value in the society, it will really make difference within your friends. It will really help them, or anybody, if anyone could benefit out of it, go ahead. People, I'm not saying social media is purely a positive or purely a negative force. I'm just saying it all depends on us. Every individual carry responsibility of social media differently. So think upon whether the power is controlling you or you controlling it. If you want social media to hold a positive or at least a neutral place in your life, it's upon you to take measures of your life and use these social platforms responsibly. It's high time we evaluate ourselves and analyze where we stand. What kind of users are we on social media? And use these platforms and learn to use these platforms in most conscious and responsible way. Just imagine if we all use these platforms in only and only positive manner, what beautiful place this world would become. At the end, I would like to rephrase what Spider-Man once said, with great powers come great responsibility. And I would say, with such huge power like social media comes a huge responsibility on us. Think about it. And at the end, after all, we are all responsible for our actions. Thank you so much for your time.